Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I titled this message, The Gatekeeper of Information. The Gatekeeper of Information. And those of you all who know the matriarchs and the patriarchs in the family, the movers and shakers, the ones who know how to control the family history, the family stories, the family events, the family reunions, the family functions, well, you all are going to need to listen to this message very closely. Because the gatekeepers of information, whether it's the matriarch or the patriarch, or it's their children or the children's children, if there is a death in the family, they are going to make sure that you don't know the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why, if it is making the family look bad. No, we are not going to tell them this, but we're going to tell them that. No, we're going to leave this information out of the obituary, but we will say this story and that one. No, I am not going to tell this relative about what happened because I know she is going to go and tell some others, and I don't like those people. If you are foolish enough to believe that when any situation takes place in a family, whether good, bad, or otherwise, that you're going to get all the details, then remain gullible, remain naive. Intelligent people who don't necessarily like the family, people who have their share of qualms, other people who just want to keep information between us and just us, are not going to tell you everything. I don't know why some individuals that I've come across in my years insist on believing that they have been told everything about people in the family, whether alive or deceased. The only people who truly know are the people who are living that life or, God forbid, have passed away, but they know what they were up to. They know what they were into. They know what and who and everything else concerning situations, events. Okay? The gatekeepers of information. We can recognize this in media, can't we? There are those media entities that will not tell the public everything because, well, it's not your business to know, especially if someone is an elitist and a celebrity, okay? A mover or shaker in the community, a politician, a government official, a famous athlete. Don't think for 1 minute that you have the entire autobiography of someone. Don't think for 1 minute that you have all of the details as to what happened when this story hit the media and made major news. This is why we have people who will spend hours upon hours researching, others who will go to the location to dig up some information, and we will even have family members who don't mind talking, coming out with a story that looks a lot different than what mainstream media received. But when you are talking to individuals who want to believe wholeheartedly that they have been received the truth, that they are so self-important, so, in the know when it comes to family, even though they don't pick up phones, even though they don't go to special events and so forth, it's going to be hard to try to convince them that what they received is not all of what they received. Being that I have a background in journalism and communications, every story, as a journalist, as a communicator, every story that we hear, we always have some questions. And the people who want to give us the stories, usually they don't like the questions. These are the folks who don't like the surveys. They're the people who don't like to give their opinion, their feedback on anything. But they want to tell you this is how it is. And you believe it, and that's it. Don't question it. Don't look for information on it. Just sit back and enjoy. Sit back and remember. Sit back and be quiet. I am not that person. And those of you all who have been following me for a long time, you already know that I don't believe just whatever somebody tells me. I'm looking at everything. And if I don't like what I see, and if God is moving me to think otherwise, I can't help that. It is what it is. But those who are children of darkness, those who are gullible even, they're not children of darkness. They're just children of light, but they're children who are gullible, who are naive. They will go along with the first thing that they hear. And even as the story unfolds, and even as events change, and even as people say, I'm sorry, I was mistaken about some things, some of these folks have trouble even updating. Some of these people are not going to come back and say, you know what, I was wrong about this. You know what, all that information that I was given, it turns out that the person who we were talking about, they were so messed up. They had so much stuff going on with them. It would be nice if we could have individuals who are honest and transparent and keeping it real. But we got a lot of folks, unfortunately, even in our own families, who are not going to do that. I can't tell you how many people who have passed away within the past, now going on, 7 years now. A lot of folks during this 7-year time frame that have passed away, I have received some updates. I've heard some things, and I've also seen some things myself. People want you to believe a whole lot when they're alive because they can control the information, and they've got their followers, their fans controlling information. You know, it went from people controlling information before the internet came along through their favorite relatives and so forth. But now that they realize that they can't keep a lid on information now that it's out on the internet, they want to tell you that the internet is wrong and that you don't know what you're talking about and where'd you get this information and who put you up to saying this and all this other stuff, when it doesn't matter. The truth is the truth. And whatever story gullible, naive, gatekeepers, patriarchs, matriarchs was fed or wanted to believe, it's invalid. It's no more. And if you are a family historian, if you are one who is about telling your children the truth so that they can tell their children the truth, if you are one about teaching lessons, then you're going to want to go along with truth. You're going to want to go along with honesty. You're not going to want to perpetuate lies. You're not going to want to keep somebody's reputation intact now that they're dead, or now that they are having trouble. Well, we don't want to, rock the boat. I understand that there is a certain degree of compassion and empathy and so forth when it comes to very sensitive situations. But when you know that truth is looking you right in the face, you receive that truth. Even if you're not that one that connects with family, even if you're not that one that likes to share information concerning family, the least you can do is at least receive the truth and don't go into denial just because of circumstances, just because favorites, just because someone told you shut your mouth, don't say this, don't say that. There are those individuals who I know that it hurts sometimes when you find out information. And I know sometimes you get a little bit upset with the Lord because you feel like the Lord could have kept that in the box. But what is in darkness comes out into the light. And if you want to continue to walk this walk the way God intended, you're going to receive truth. You're going to walk in truth. As I've said in other audio, and it also is in the Bible, we worship God in spirit and in truth. And this goes for all truth. Even the truth that we don't necessarily want to receive, even if it does make our families look bad. Some people don't mind looking at everybody else's family and talking about everybody else's situation. But when it hits home, they want to stay mum. And that, unfortunately, is one of those things that if one had been self-righteous and prideful and so forth, this is why the truth is coming out so quickly, so fast for some of these folks, right? it's coming all at once. You're saying, wow, and here's another thing that happened. And what's up with their family? And why are they going through? Because now it's their time to go through some suffering. Now it's their time to get their act right. Now it's their time to start turning their hearts toward the righteous God and stop with this fake relationship. Stop with this hallelujah around certain people and then act like a fool around others. Giving up some of these civic associations that are ungodly, that are unspiritual. God moves upon people to change. And for some of you all, when you don't understand why all this bad stuff is happening to some people, it's because God is moving on them to stop being hypocrites and be the kind of people that he has called them to be. And whether you choose to accept that or not, it doesn't matter. That is what's happening with a lot of these people. What is in darkness is surely coming out into the light. So be prepared. And as I am just giving this message to you, I see 3 black birds. And I have never seen 3 black birds looking into my windows. And they're very close. And let me tell you one thing about 3. 3, a lot of times people say death comes in 3s. This is all the more reason why people need to start receiving truth for what it is and walking righteously with God, because you don't know the day nor the hour. So it's interesting. The last time when I saw a number of black birds, it was a warning that death was coming. And one bird, it was a pigeon, the next day ended up being hit by a car, and my sons and I, we looked at it, and it was a pretty disgusting, scene, of course. And then the following day, we found out that a homeless man ended up passing away. God had told me that death was around, and he had confirmed it through birds. And once again, like I said, as I am recording this message, I am seeing the spirit of death. So those of you all who are following YouTube NM Enterprise 7, understand that Jesus is who you need to accept. Jesus is your salvation, not man, not woman. We are not concerned about men and women and their gatekeeping of information. We are concerned about the truth that God has presented before us. We accept it no matter how much it hurts, and we walk in God's light, helping others, rebuking, convicting, correcting, encouraging. I thank you so much, as always, for taking time out to listen. To God be the glory.